All right, we're going to check out this tire pressure monitor system for vehicles that don't have it already included. The cool thing about this one is it has an app, and don't fret because it also has a self-contained unit, so you don't always have to have the app up and running. This will also alert you of any issues you may have. All right, let's go through some of the features. First of all, it comes in two different colors. I got silver to match my rims, but it also comes in black. Apple and Android. It is Bluetooth 5 or 4. Go through the key features: real-time monitoring, 24-hour continuous within Bluetooth range. I think in most cases that wouldn't necessarily apply, but it's kind of cool. Like if you go into a restaurant and the car is within distance, you were curious about your prior tire pressure, you could also monitor that. It has synchronization. You can also share. This is the cool thing, because it has the app, and it actually gets into that here. Unlimited profile installation with up to 19 vehicles. So you can manage multiple vehicles. You can share with other 6-level alerts. Then you can go through and read the other features it has as well. Waterproof, IP57 for the sensors. Maximum tire pressure, 116 psi. That's really high, so that's great. And it also mentions the temperature. So let's do some unboxing. All right, so obviously everything typically comes with a manual, but this is cool. Color, printed out, gives you all the install details. Here is the main unit itself. Has a power button on this side. It's power and synchronization. It's got the battery compartment. It came with these two batteries here, and it also protects them initially from the install, so the batteries aren't grinding constantly. These are LEDs, so you have 4 LEDs for each tire, and then there is a Bluetooth sensor or LED up top. So this, in fact, is the unit you would have visible. You could have it like on the lower portion of your dash, something like that, somewhere where you'd be able to see it. You don't have to, but that is the option. Then you have for each wheel, there's a coin-sized battery inside each one of these sensors. And in fact, as a part of the install process, you pull these, unscrew them, pull them, and then apply these to the tires as you go. And you have in this box here, this is like a little mini wrench to attach the locks to the tires, so you can lock them from below to click those in if you so choose. It also comes with a mounting two-sided padded tape, and then this is just an extra like little keychain thing, which I think you could even attach if you were so inclined. Well, there you go. Let's get it installed. Okay, the first step is let's download the app. Now you have to make sure you install the one that is Tire 2. They have another version, so be careful about that. So let's get that installed. There it is. They also have a bike one, and they have the original Tire one they have there. So let's get this installed. And we'll go through the setup process. All right, so currently we don't have anything installed. We're gonna click Add, Allow, Add. All right, so you take the main unit, remove the back, pull the tab. Okay, that activates it. Long press the button on the side, this one here, until it beeps. You can see the LEDs here. Okay, so we want to get it into pairing mode. We're going to click and hold. There we go. Okay, so now we're in a pairing mode. We can proceed. Okay, installation complete. I think we're good to go. So let's go ahead and set this up for this vehicle in particular. The cool thing about this, it does give you a front tire PSI and a rear tire PSI, which is great because for my vehicle, the rear tires are actually a higher PSI than the front. So that's actually really cool. Not many of these TPS tire pressure monitor systems have that feature. So that's a really neat feature to have. What we do though, we do need to eventually change this over to PSI. Right now it's not defaulting to PSI. So we're going to call this van, for the van, allow. And this is cool. You can actually take a picture. Okay, it also comes up with this note here when you're installing. So please ensure the cap of each sensor is gently tightened up to ensure effective waterproofing. Because remember, during the install process, we will be unscrewing these caps. Okay, here you can see each of these sensors has an indicator on it, a tag. So we'll go ahead and let's see how easy this is. Oh, that's good. They've got a nice edge there to hold on to while you unscrew it. And it's got a rubber seal. There's the coin battery. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to remove this tab. There we go. All right, let's go put this back. Tighten that up. All the way until it should no longer turn. There we go. Perfect. Like you can see the battery is in here, and this is definitely on the front right tire. It now shows it active, 31 degrees Celsius. So that's another thing that we want to do is change. We need to do the settings here. Settings. There we go. Fahrenheit temperature, PSI, confirm. You've got some other settings which we can get into later, but let's go back to the vehicle. Now when we look at it, there we go. 87 degrees. That's cool. And it's actually giving me an active PSI right there. All right, the other thing here, again, you can have multiple vehicles listed. On this vehicle, I want to make sure that I set the min max, like I was telling you about, on the PSI. So let's go to settings. The difference between the front and the rear. Okay, here we go. So that's the front tire pressure. So for this vehicle, it's really nice because it can give you a min, a max, and recommended. So on my vehicle, it lists here in the front, it should be a 39 PSI and the rear is 48. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna set the max, or the recommended, at 39. The max on the tire is rated at 51. All right, and then the minimum I would think would be like a 30, let's go with 32. That's actually super cool that you can do that. You cannot do that with everything. Now let's set the rear. Perfect. Now we got it dialed in. There's an off-road mode. I don't quite know what that is. Maybe during off-road mode, I know most off-roaders, you can lower the tire pressure, so you don't want this thing obviously like freaking out on you. All right, so in-car unit sensitivity, you can dial that in as well. And you can add sharing, someone to share with. So for now, we're just gonna save. Oh, name cannot be empty. Van. And save. Now we got it dialed in. Let's go get some tire pressure. All right, so let's get this put on the wheel. Now again, there are those tire locks. So if you wanted to lock them in place with the wrench. There we go. Okay, it's in. There we go. 39.9 PSI. Gives me the temperature, 95 degrees Fahrenheit. It is a warm day. I don't know if it's quite 95 degrees, but the sensor's working. Let's check the others. There we go, 46.1. You can feel the air kind of come out initially. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it's showing me the tire pressure there. We just have one error left because we don't have that sensor keyed in. Here's the app. Let's go ahead. That beeping sound's coming from the main unit, not the phone. There we go. Boom. Now, as far as mounting in the dash, you could choose many different areas. That might be a good one for the van. Again, right there, I could see all 4 tires. Wouldn't have to worry about sunlight. It gets a little bit more crowded around the steering wheel, but right here might be a good place as well. So when you're driving, you could see it right there. But again, the horn kind of hides some of those LEDs. So I might end up mounting it right there. So here's what it looks like on the wheels. I think it looks nice. That silver looks sharp. All right, so once you have all the sensors connected in, your device is connected, ready to go, synced up with your phone. Everything should be green. You have a little green check mark above your icon. Mine is the van. If you're into the feature-rich options, there's a lot of things in here that you can dive deeper into. It does work quite well. It doesn't seem to throw the balance off of anything, for those of you who might be worried about that. I've tried many types of these types of sensors and they work really well. Even at high speed, even in the rain. All right, so focusing in on the positives. The tire pressure adjustment for front and back, the fact that they can be different is a big win. The fact that the tire pressure goes up to 116 PSI, that's also really nice. That should cover most applications. The other is the app itself is a feature-rich app. A lot of cool stuff in there. And the things that I didn't like as much is the app really needs to be active for faster notifications. If you don't have the app active, it's not as immediate. You'll get eventually a beep or a notification, but it does take up to 2 to 3 minutes. And although the app is feature-rich, you do have to rely on the manufacturer to keep it current. I'll leave a link in the description, and there's also a coupon code, so check that out.